Hello fellas, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, in this occasion, we are from Group 6. We will talk about and discuss about what transitivity is in functional English grammar. But before we go further or explain related to this topic, let us introduce ourselves. And then here are the list of our group's members, started from Muhammad Irfaq Baharudin, Dini nurlailla fadillah, Rindi Fediany, Imanuel Rahmadi, Danang Dwi Praditya, and from the last is Riskayanti. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started.
According to Machin and Meyer in 2012, transitivity is the study of what people doing, by which mainly discussed who does what to whom. This study is developed by Halliday. He was an English linguist who developed the internationally influential systemic functional linguistic model of language, or SFL. There are three main aspects of meaning in transitivity. Number one, participants. It is including both the doer of the process as well as the done, those who are receiving end of actions. Participants may be the people, things, or abstract concepts. And the number two, processes. It is represented by verbs and verbal group. Number three, circumstances. These are adverbial groups or prepositional phrases detailing where, when, and how something has occurred.
Okay, so after we know what is the definition of transitivity, we're going to talk about the 7 processes that belong to transitivity. The first one is material process. A material process means doing or happening either bodily, physically, or materially. In material process, a clause obligatory have a doing or process and a doer or participant. For example, the youngster wiggle in his heart. The youngster is participant, wiggle is the process, and in his heart is the circumstance. There are optionally an entity to which the process is extended or directed. This entity which might be done is referred as the goal. For example, the exhausted bushwalker dropped his bag. Bushwalker is the participant that become actor. Drop is the material process, and his bag is the participant that serves as goal, because the actor extend or direct to the goal. The second process is called as behavioral process. It means behaving physiologically and psychologically. The participant roles in behavioral process are behavior and ring. For example, he threw a tantrum. He is the behavior, threw is behavioral, and a tantrum is the ring. Next, we are going to talk about mental process. A mental process involves sensing, emotionally, intellectually, sensorially, and often referred as cognitive, then affective, and perceptive. In mental process, participant is called as sensor and phenomenon. For example, Mark likes new clothes. Mark is the participant or sensor. Likes is the process or mental process itself. and nucleus is the participant that belong to phenomenon. The next slide will be explained by my friend. Thank you for listening.
Well, now we move to the next process. Verbal process, or we can say it as saying lingually and signaling. In this verbal process, the projecting clause encodes a signal source, or we can say it as sayer, and a signaling, or we can state it as verbal process, and the other, or we can call it as projected clauses, relies what we said. And the table below is the example of verbal process. Also, there are three other participants that may be incumbent upon verbal processes. The first is receiver, or the one to whom the verbalization is addressed. And the second is range or verbiage. It is a name of verbalization itself. And the last is target. It is one acted upon verbally. And you guys can see in the examples below. There are several examples here of the verbal process. Next, we move to the relational process, being equal to or some attribute of. The first is attributive, a processes which assign a quality. The participant here roles are carrier and attribute. And then the second is identifying. Identifying here means processes which establish an identity. The participants' roles are token and value. And you can see the examples below. There are two kinds of examples here. And then we move to the next process, which is existential process, or existing there exists. There is the only obligatory participant in this process, that is what's so-called as existence. And then we move to the next process, meteorological process, weathering. The it here has no representational function, but does provide a subject. These are analyzed as process meteorological. For examples, it's hot. It here refers to the conditional right now, which is it's so hot. Today is so hot. So it's hot. For the next example is it's 5 o'clock. It here indicates the time right now. The time right now shows 5 o'clock. So I hope you understand, guys, related to this topic. What is transitivity, and also the kinds of the processes, and also three aspects meaning of transitivity. Hello fellas, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, in this occasion, we are from group 6. We will talk about and discuss about what transitivity is in functional English grammar. But before we go further or explain related to this topic, let us introduce ourselves. And then here are the list of our group's members, started from Muhammad Irfaq Baharudin, Dini, Nurlailla, Fadillah,